to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the latest installment of the 30-year-old franchise. Nintendo once again brought us another incredible and epic adventure, garnering perfect scores from almost every major gaming website, and it is projected to win this year's Game of the Year. Breath of the Wild was praised for its massive open world. Now, I haven't played the game myself, but I plan on doing so this holiday season. With that said, there have been ongoing debates on which Zelda is the best Zelda of all time, and this is one of them. But for the longest time, many fans turned to Ocarina of Time as the best Zelda of all time, and I've always disagreed with that statement. To me, the best Zelda of all time is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and I have several reasons as to why I chose this over Ocarina of Time. The first reason I have... Oh my fucking god, why do you have to call me in the middle of a fucking video? Alright, fine, I'll answer the damn phone. This is customer service, how can I help you? Oh, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was just talking about the new Zelda, and... Wait. There's a Famicom version of A Link to the Past. Where can I find it? Okay, thanks. I'll be sure to check your email soon. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Alright, let's see what this is all about. Oh my god, what the fuck did they do to Zelda?! With all the bootleg games we've covered in the past, it's no surprise that someone would eventually touch The Legend of Zelda. But these guys took Zelda: A Link to the Past, the greatest Zelda of all time, and just straight up butchered it. And to top it all off, the cover art of the game is completely wrong. Like, what the hell is this shit? Is this The Legend of Zelda or The Legend of Waifu? So anyway, who is responsible for making this piece of shit bootleg? That's right, folks, it's Wising, the makers of the shitty Pokemon bootlegs and Biohazard. Imagine my shock. So anyway, here's the title screen, and here's a fun fact. This uses the Japanese title, The Legend of Zelda: The Triforce of the Gods. This makes sense since most bootlegs are made in Asian territories. Like all other Wising games, this version of Zelda is all Chinese, but it's easy to figure out everything, well, mostly everything, and you'll see in a moment. Anyone who's played A Link to the Past already knows the story by now. Just like in the original Link to the Past, the game starts off with Link in bed and his uncle goes out to fight. And for whatever reason, Link in bed looks like the bug catcher kid. Anyway, you leave the house and go straight to the castle. And by the way, the enemies here are absolutely pathetic. You can easily avoid them and they don't do shit. So after entering the back of the castle and saving your uncle, you get his sword, and here's one of the biggest problems this game has. Link swings his sword way too fast to the point where he looks like he's swinging a knife or a dagger. It makes him look really weak, but watch what happens later. After you rescue Zelda and return her to the sanctuary and the loyal sage, your sword, for whatever reason, is now stronger and can be used by holding the B button instead of rapidly tapping it. Also, when you swing the sword, it makes this weird pew 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 sound. Remember, you don't get the Master Sword until you collect all 3 pendants, so this is really strange. So anyway, what exactly is the problem with this game? The problem? It's fucking boring! It's a bastardized, dumbed down version of A Link to the Past that just fucking sucks! Now you're probably wondering, Well, of course it's dumbed down because it's on the NES and not the Super Nintendo. And that's exactly the problem. The game wasn't meant for 8-bit hardware at all. And that brings me to my second point, and that is the lack of buttons. The Super Nintendo version allowed you to use all 4 face buttons. The Game Boy Advance version allowed you to use both face buttons as well as both shoulder buttons. Since the NES only has 2 buttons, a D-pad, start and select, certain features had to be taken away. For example, you can't use the lamp for dark areas or lighting up torches and unlock certain areas. But you know what the biggest problem this game has? No map! That's right, you heard me, no map! You can't collect it anywhere, you can't access it in the pause menu, nothing! Now that is just bloody bullshit! Look, I understand the map in the original Use Mode 7, something that the NES obviously isn't capable of. But couldn't they just replace it with just a regular map? You know, just a standard map? Just saying. Despite the Chinese language, I figured I'd get through this since I've beaten both versions of the original. But with that and no map, I'd have a hard time figuring out where to go next. To make matters worse, the worlds aren't exactly like the ones in the original. There are obvious differences. Like, where do I find the Book of Mudora to read Hylian inscriptions? Without it, I can't enter the Desert Palace to get the Pendant of Power. What's also strange is that it appears that it's already open, but I can't go up the stairs. What the fuck is that? Bullshit! And how do I get to the Tower of Hera to get to the Pendant of Wisdom? I can't seem to find a way to enter. This is very different from the original. The only pendant I was able to get was the Pendant of Courage at the Eastern Palace. And by the way, the Armos Knights in this area are piss easy. They just go around in circles, and all you gotta do is swing your sword repeatedly until they're all dead. It kinda takes a while, which makes it tedious as all fuck, but it's easy to beat. In fact, all of the enemies here are piss easy. For example, the Stalfos. In the original Link to the Past, they would jump back every time you swing your sword, and the only way to beat them is to either back them in a corner or throw a weapon. Here, they just walk! The Igors are piss easy as well. All you gotta do is swing your sword at them. In the original, you can only beat them with the bow and arrow, and if you didn't have bows, you were shit out of luck. And the music. Oh my god, the music. It's the most soulless, ear-raping cancer I've ever heard. It's not as bad as Sonic Adventure 7's music though, I'll give you that. But it's still shit! So if you ever play this game, please play it on mute. The graphics are fine, even though the colors are all wrong, but other than that, it looks pretty much identical to A Link to the Past. You know what? Fuck this game. And you know what happens when you die? Where the A is supposed to be is the same as the O in over. So is it Gome over? It's Gome over. I wanna die. And now for the final verdict. The jury has found Wise & Company guilty for the 1 billionth time. I've put up with your bullshit in past episodes, but no more. Now I will sentence you with your worst punishment yet. Getting ass fucked.
Here's a little balloon animal. Da, 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 da.
Boy, he's gonna be ass bleeding for a very long time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this new episode of Bootleg Shit, and in case you missed it, Awful Games made its epic return earlier this month, and there will be more episodes of Awful Games and Bootleg Shit in the near future. Stay tuned.